I did just sign a huge £600 UGC deal. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because I just feel like I have such nuggets of wisdom to share with you all. So this is the how I made my first £1,000 on TikTok, but spoiler alert, since last month when I announced that, I've made another £710. So we're going to dive into the analytics of what that money is made up of, all the different streams of income that I have from my TikTok, and I'm going to give you some top tips on how you can get started with those streams of income too. Okay, so I'm going to put the pie chart up behind me. I started tracking this January 2024 because I had a goal this year that I wanted to make £1,200 on TikTok, which we have smashed. So in TikTok views, I made £389. Through TikTok shop, I made £6. Sponsored posts, I did 557, and UGC, I did £66. However, if we include the month of September, I did £110 extra in views just in 1 month that's going to pay out. So my TikTok views is almost £500, so £499. I didn't have any new sponsored posts, that's 557. However, I did just sign a huge £600 UGC deal. Well, that's huge for me. So that jumps us up to £666, and I didn't make anything extra on TikTok shop. So including September year to date, I have made £1,728 through my TikTok. I do consider UGC to be through my TikTok, although you don't need an audience to get started with UGC. I currently have around 12,000 followers on TikTok, but that is not necessary for UGC. However, some of the platforms that I'm going to talk about, you do need 10,000 to join, some you don't. We'll get into it. Let's go through this one by one. First up, let's talk about TikTok views, because this is the one that I was most excited about, although now I'm most excited about UGC. But initially I was most excited about views because I really want to be able to monetize my social media in a way that doesn't like take from my audience. And sometimes I feel with TikTok shop that you are doing your audience a disservice. It's very like complicated and I have complicated feelings about it. I don't want my TikTok to turn into a QVC. I have dabbled in some TikTok shop videos in the past. Hence you can see I made about £6 total, but I just decided it wasn't for me. I do have friends, however, who have less than 10k followers, so they can't make money from views, and they have just like randomly posted one video and made like £600 on TikTok shop. I've had 2 friends that have done that, one with mailing bags and one with like eyelashes or almond hair oil or something like that. So there's definitely potential to be made on TikTok shop. I'm just not your gal for that, so if you want tips on that, yeah. Anyway, my TikTok views. There has been quite a steady climb from December last year. So December and January, I was on under £20, steady climb to February. March was on 60, and then our next high was in June, we did 75, and in September we touched at 110, which is insane. My best performing video in September had 177,000 views. 89,000 of those views were eligible to make money on TikTok, and it had an RPM of 59 pence per 1,000 views. So the topic of this video was how I got paid 7 grand last month and how I budgeted it. Obviously that's like an interesting video. People want to know, how did you make £7,000? It was obviously a one-off month for me and I knew it would get views, so I decided to capitalize on it, and it worked. That video made me over £50 alone. So I will say with TikTok views, it does depend on your consistency. So I'm being paid £110 in September, but that is based on my August views. That's just how the creator fund works on TikTok. The month ends and then you get paid on the 30th of the following month for those views. So we can already sneak peek into the work that I put in September, and I am not going to make nearly as much money because I have struggled this month in all aspects of my life, but obviously content creation, as it's like a side hustle for me, it tends to be the first one to go. So yeah, sadly my TikTok has lost some momentum and I think I'm going to make about 30 quid. But I mean, there's 3 days till the end of the month. I could post some really viral content, you never know. In terms of being monetized on the Creator Fund on TikTok, I'm sure you already know this, but for those of you who don't, you need 10,000 followers and your content has to all be like original, and you only get paid on videos that are over a minute long. Stay to the end of the video because I have 2 really good tips on how to get to 10k followers fast. But first of all, we're going to dive into the UGC. So let's talk about UGC and sponsored posts. What's the difference and how have I made this kind of money from them? So sponsored posts are when a brand pays you to post on your platform about their product or service. In total, year to date, I made £557. One of those was a single video that I got paid £500 for, and one of those was a single video that got paid £57 for. I really shouldn't have taken the £57 deal. With an audience of 12,000 people, you should not be charging £57 per video, even though 12,000 is small. We'll get onto pricing in a second, but I really liked the brand. I've always wanted to work for them, and I also got free product and I just wanted it, so I did accept it. The £500 brand deal was from a much bigger company, like a well-known brand, and I got both of these through an agency, different agencies. Now, UGC stands for user generated content, and this is when you create content for a brand about their product. Typically, it's designed to look the same as the sponsored post that you would post on your page. The only difference is you don't post it on your page, you just give it to them and they can post it on their page. I did 2 very small jobs for £33 each, and then I have just finished a £600 job. So here I am giving away all my secrets. Let's talk about the agencies that I use to find these jobs. I get a lot of questions on TikTok about whether I do brand outreach or if I have brands message me, and to be honest, that's not how I've got my work so far. It has all been through apps and agencies. I have made a media pack and I do want to do some more outreach, and that's going to be part of my like leveling up when I try and get more and more UGC work, but for now the agencies have been working. So the tiny little UGC contracts that I got for £33, I got through a website called Clip UGC. Obviously the rate is quite bad, but why I do recommend this website, especially if you're starting out, is that you need to upload some like fake UGC content before they will even let you onto the website. They actually denied me when I first applied because I hadn't filmed it as well as I would film it if it were paid. So I had to improve my portfolio, and I feel like this is actually pretty helpful for when you're starting out with UGC, get you some portfolio videos to use over on the other apps. So yeah, I applied to Clip, I got rejected. They have an email address and they say basically like reach out to us when you think you have better examples. So what I did is I went to another creator's page who I know does UGC. You can literally go on TikTok, type in UGC creator, and loads of people come up. I found one of their videos talking about a service on a laptop, and I literally copied the script word for word. It doesn't matter, you're not plagiarizing, it's literally just going in your portfolio for other brands to see an example of your work. And then I made 2 other fake UGC videos with products I had around the house. One of them was like some my vegan cod liver oil tablets, and I just filmed myself talking about them. I actually did voiceover. I love doing voiceover for UGC work. But yeah, Clip eventually accepted me, and that's where I got my 2 little £33 jobs from. I'm a sucker for an app. I would prefer if all of my agencies were on apps. So my other £57 one was from an app called Incense. It's kind of got a Tinder vibe where you can swipe yes or no. They do try and give you like commission only and product only. They call it product seeding, like gift only work, but obviously I want to be paid even if it's only £33. £33 is £33. But yeah, full disclosure, that's where I got the £57 deal from. And then the chunkiest, most impressive deals by far, the £500 sponsored post and the £600 UGC post I got through Tribe. I really like Tribe. It's an app agency, super user friendly, has great brands on there, but it does have a minimum follower joining count. I think it's 10k for TikTok. I don't know about Instagram and everything else. Another app that has such good jobs on, but I haven't won any work, I haven't applied for enough to be honest, but is Vamp. Again, it has a minimum subscriber number. They have like such good brands on there, but a lot of them I would say are more like beauty brands, and I don't think that's my niche. I don't think like fashion brands are gonna want to work with me. I feel like I'm definitely more like the household mummy brands. So yes, those are just a few agencies to get you started. That hasn't even scratched the surface of UGC agencies. There's a girl I follow on here who makes like mega money, and she doesn't use any of those agencies that I just listed. There are so many agencies out there, so if one turns you down, just go on to the next. But yeah, that's why I liked Clip, to help you build your portfolio to begin with. A couple of tips for UGC. I said before I love voiceovers. This is because sometimes, especially on the cheaper apps, the lesser known brands can write really vague briefs, and then you go away and make your content and they're like, oh, actually, you're only allowed to say that it's plant-based and not vegan or something really specific. And then you're like, why didn't you put that in your brief? And you don't want to have to re-record the whole video. So if they're being pernickety about something that you said, it's easier to correct a voiceover rather than correcting a like talk to camera clip. With all of these apps and agencies, even for the £33 one, I try to make the best content that I can, and I try to deliver it as quickly as I can because I want the good reviews. And it's just great to build my portfolio with. I always try and give it my all. That's just for the first couple. You don't want to be giving it your all for £33 forever, but for the first couple, you really want to just build your portfolio and collect some professional looking UGC content. One of the big plus sides to UGC versus sponsored posts for me is that obviously you don't have to post it on your own page. I am like very protective over my TikTok following, and I really feel like I have a community there, and I don't just want to be like schlepping and trying to like sell them anything. With UGC work, you're personally not endorsing the product that you're talking about. You're oftentimes following a script, hitting certain talk points. I think of it more as like a model. Cringe. But yeah, you're more just like modeling and content creating for that brand. Obviously, if it's a brand that's like totally not aligned with your values or something that you don't want your face associated with forever, maybe think about it before you create UGC content for it. But in general, you're not endorsing that particular product unless you're posting it on your own platform, if that makes sense. To answer the age-old question of how do I hit 10,000 followers on TikTok, I have one word that is so important, and that is provocation. No one cares about you until they care about you, which means you need to hook people in and give them a reason to want to watch your content before they know who you are. I'm by no means like an expert content creator, and there's so much more I could be doing with my TikTok if only I had the time and energy, but some people have DM'd me on TikTok and asked me, I'm trying to grow, could you give me some tips? And the one thing that I think they have in common when I go on their pages as to why they're not growing is there's no unique selling point to each of the videos. For example, they'll make a get ready with me, but they're not also telling an interesting story. You can make a get ready with me once people know who you are and once people care about you. But until then, get ready with me while I tell you about how my boyfriend left me stranded in Bangkok is gonna get more views. Provocation, you have to provoke some sort of emotion, whatever that emotion may be, you have to provoke it in your audience. Another one of my top performing videos is how I wasted £70,000 of someone else's money, which was basically about the scholarship that I got to a private school because I didn't come out with the best A-levels. And one of my really good friends who went to the same private school as me said, oh my God, I saw that TikTok and it really upset me that you said it was a waste of money, because, you know, it wasn't a waste of money. You learned so much from there and da da da. And I said, you're right, I did. I learned so much from there. I took so much from there, but get ready with me while I tell you about how I went to private school, but I didn't get good grades, but I still learned so much, so it's all okay in the end. It just wasn't as catchy a title. Obviously, you don't want to be clickbaity and annoying because that can cause your audience to like lose trust. Unless that's the path you want to go down. I know some people literally don't care about their image and they just want to go super viral. But for me, I always wanted like a slow burner, community vibe, integrity, all of that type of thing. So yeah, give people a reason to care about you. Outside of that, series do really well. Consistency is important, as you can see from my earnings drop off this month. Try and film in good lighting, try and make your videos as high quality as you can. I'd say for TikTok, your phone is definitely okay. YouTube, your phone probably would be okay too, although I have bought myself a nice camera and mic. I don't know why I'm throwing in YouTube there when I haven't monetized from YouTube at all yet. Here is my current monetization progress from YouTube. My last video did really well, so thank you so much to everyone who watched that. One stream of income I forgot to talk about in this whole video is referral links. I do use one referral link and it is for Monzo, and especially since my last video did really well, I've had quite a few referrals. I'm going to put on the screen how many referrals I've made year to date or of all time. You'll see it now. But yeah, I get £5 every time someone joins my Monzo, so that's another stream of income that I really want to get more into, is referral links. And that's how I've made £1,700 year to date on TikTok, social media, and through UGC. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.